in this material world. And pretty much at the same time as when he actually did the Kurukshetra war also. When Kurukshetra war took place, Krishna was 125 years, they say. But when you look at the Kurukshetra, there is, when Bhishma Stuti, when you listen to Bhishma Stuti, Tamala Varanam Ravikara, that shloka, when you hear from Bhishma, he describes Krishna as if he is 16, 17-year-old, right? The beauty of Krishna is very well depicted in that shloka. Although Krishna was 125, he never looked, because he is always Nava Yavvana, it is said. Krishna is also Nava Yavvana. There is no change in Krishna's age. So now Krishna is in Dwarka and he knows that, the Vrajavasis are crying. There is a description of how the Vrajavasis are in Vrindavan missing Krishna. It is said it is like a slow fire. See, fire burns us very quickly, isn't it? But this is a slow fire, slow death. Every day they are burning in separation. And Krishna actually asks in Canto 11, we will see in Bhagavatam, where Krishna asks Uddhava to go and pacify the Vrajavasis. Uddhava is a very close friend of Krishna and he thinks he knows bhakti. To give him the glimpse of bhakti, Krishna wants to send him to Vrindavan, right? He says, take this letter from me and don't use your intelligence, don't use your mind. When you are pacifying the gopis, just read this letter to them. If they don't get pacified, read it over and over again. Don't change even a single word in this letter, he says. To my parents, you can convince them. You can somehow talk to them and convince them. But the gopis, you don't try to convince because you cannot convince, he says. But in that dialogue, Krishna forgets to mention about Gopa Balakas. And Acharyas mention why Krishna never talks about the Gopa Balakas. Because the Gopa Balakas are in so much separation, they have started hallucinating and they are in illusion. They've started seeing Krishna everywhere. They are playing with Krishna even though Krishna is not there. Right? Even Srimati Radharani, right? Srimati Radharani also sometimes sees Krishna in Vrindavan, although Krishna is not there. How does she see? She makes the Vanamala and she thinks Krishna is there and she goes and puts and she's very happy. When she turns, the Vanamala has fallen down. That's when she realizes Krishna is not there. That is her love for Krishna. First of all, the Vrajavasis are so much in love with Krishna. Beyond that is the gopis. In the Vraja itself, the gopis' love is even more. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna is so much. Krishna says, Yam Yam Yapi Swaran Mukta. Sorry, he says, however people reciprocate to me, whatever way they want to reciprocate to me, I reciprocate. There is a particular shloka where Krishna says to Uddhava, I cannot reciprocate to the gopis because there is no way I can understand their devotion. See, if you understand a person's feelings, only then can you reciprocate, isn't it? But here Krishna is at a loss because the devotion of the gopis and Srimati Radharani is unlimited. Krishna actually gives benedictions and all those things, he gives vara, benediction, and he has lot of power, he has everything. When it comes to devotion, he is zero because he cannot taste that devotion. He cannot reciprocate to that devotion, it is said. And the more the gopis perform devotion to Krishna, the more it increases, right? It is manifesting so much that it is unconceivable even for Krishna. Krishna himself is unlimited, but that unlimited cannot conceive the devotion of the gopis. That is the love of gopis. And then it is said that, when Uddhava is going to Vrindavan, he is at a loss. Where does Yashoda Maya and Nanda Baba live? And somebody says, you look at that stream of water which is coming, just follow that stream, you'll go to Nanda Baba's house and Yashoda Maya's house. What is that stream of water? It is the tears of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya. It is said that in Vrindavan, all trees should have been burnt the minute Krishna put his foot out. Why? Because the separation, the fire of separation of all the Brajavasis should have actually burnt all the trees, all the shrubs, all vegetation. But they are still alive. How are they alive? Because of the tears of the gopis and tears of Nanda Baba and Brajavasis. It is watering that fire, it is extinguishing that fire, it is said. That is the situation in Vrindavan. While this situation is there, this is the background story, but then one day what happens is Krishna in Dwarka is also not very peaceful. He is tossing day in and day out, especially in the night, he cannot sleep. He suddenly starts calling the names of the cows. He suddenly starts calling Subal, all the Gopabalaka's names, Madhumangal. And then he calls out to the gopis' names. And then finally he calls out to Radharani's names. He's so much in separation. He feels that, although everything is there in Dwarka, it is not Vrindavan. And Acharyas give an example. When you look at a mango fruit, you don't think of a shadow or the reflection of a mango, isn't it? But if somebody draws a picture of a mango, or if you see a reflection of a mango, you think of the real mango. You miss that real mango. I want to eat that mango. But when you are looking at the fruit, you never think of that reflection of the mango. It is the same in case of Vrindavan and Dwarka. Dwarka is said to be like the reflection of Vrindavan. It is not the real Vrindavan. So whenever Krishna is in Dwarka, he thinks of Vrindavan like the fruit. But when he's eating that fruit in Vrindavan, when he is enjoying with doing his pastimes, he never one day misses Dwarka. Krishna is in turmoil. He may be the king of Dwarka, but he's in lot of pain. The same pain that Brajavasis face, he also faces. And one day when nobody is there, Krishna is so much deeply impacted by the love of Brajavasis. He says Radha, Radha, and he falls unconscious. To that scene, Narad Muni comes. This is the Leela said by Radha Govind Maharaj Ji. Every acharyas have given their own stories. We'll see the first part where it is from Radha Govind Maharaj. So he falls unconscious and nobody is there, and then immediately Narad Muni out of nowhere comes to that scene and he sees Krishna unconscious. Then Uddhava joins that scene, and Naradji is thinking, what can we do? How can we, wake up Krishna? Because he is in separation of Vrindavan. Then Uddhava comes, and then Uddhava also agrees, yes, this is because Krishna is missing Vrindavan. Then Naradji actually finds a plan. He says, I'm going to start singing the glories of Vrindavan and Srimati Radharani and the Vrajavasis, and immediately Krishna will wake up. But we should be able to console Krishna because he will be in illusion. He will be in so much of, frustration that he's away from Vrindavan. So Uddhava says, let's keep a chariot ready because as soon as he wakes up, he will want to go to Vrindavan. He can't stay even a minute here. He will just jump on the chariot and he wants to go. So let's keep the chariot ready. Then they will get Daru card and they'll keep the chariot ready. At the same time, Balaramji also comes to the scene. As we are discussing, Naraji says, see, he's so much in separation of Vrindavan that when he goes to Vrindavan, looking at all the Brajavasis, his heart will melt and he will never come back. What do we do? He will never come back to Dwarka. Then how do we bring him back? Then they devise a plan saying that somebody should go ahead of him and prepare all the Vrajavasis and calm them down and make them feel happy. When Krishna sees them happy, he will not get impacted so much and he will come back, Otherwise, if he sees them in tears and everything, he will stay back. He cannot come back after seeing tears in their eyes. So then Naraji looks at Uddhava and he says, you can go. Then Uddhava narrates the story that I told you so far, that how Krishna actually sent him, and Uddhava stayed there for 11 months and he couldn't console. And then he narrates the pastime where he went to the gopis and he says to the gopis, he reads the letter and he says, "Oh, don't think of, actually think of Krishna in your mind. Then you will be pacified. Then they say, we don't think anything other than Krishna. The more we think of Krishna, the more we feel separation. See, people outside Vraja have 20 minds. They will think in one mind about their office, one mind they will think about their family, one mind they will think about their finance, and in one mind they will think about Krishna. But for us in Vraja, we have only one mind, and that mind is with Krishna. And there is also another explanation they give. They say, hey, see, mind is where you think about Krishna, you're saying. The day Krishna left, our mind also left with him. We are without a mind right now. We are like mad people right here. So how can you console? You're asking us to think about Krishna, there's nothing else we can do, right? It is said that Uddhava went to teach them as a teacher to Vrindavan. He came back, he came out of Vrindavan becoming a student. After staying there for 11 months and seeing their pain, right, in separation, Uddhava asks a benediction finally to Krishna and says, in any janma, all the future janmas, in the next few janmas, all the janmas, I should become a grass or a lata on the other side of Yamuna, he says. Why the other side of Yamuna? Where the people are entering, the devotees enter into Vrindavan from one side, and let them wipe their leg on me. As a grass I will be. And when devotees, foot dust fall on me, then I will understand bhakti. I want the gopis' foot dust always on me. So I want to become a lata. For eternally, I want to live in Vrindavan as a lata, he says. And that is when he tells Narad Muni, I cannot go. 11 months I stayed there and I couldn't pacify them. And I promised them that I will bring Krishna, but I couldn't take Krishna back to Vrindavan. So they will never believe me that, I will bring Krishna, right? So I will be unsuccessful. Don't ever ask me to go ahead of time and pacify them. Then he looks at Balramji, Naradji looks at Balramji and says, you go and pacify the Vrajavasis. And that time, Balramji says, see, I also went there for 2 months. I stayed there after Krishna left. I went there for 2 months and I told them I will bring back Krishna. Uddhava, at least they will forgive because he is just a friend. I am his brother and I am supposed to be taking care of Krishna, and Krishna should listen to me. I'm his elder brother. And they will think I am the one at fault because I haven't put enough pressure on Krishna to come back to Vrindavan. So they will never listen to me. Although Krishna doesn't listen to me anymore, he is Dwarkadish now. They don't know that. They don't know that Krishna no more listens to me, but they think I'm the elder brother and I should be responsible for that. So I cannot do that. At the same time, Subhadra comes there. Then Subhadra Devi says, I will pacify the Vrajavasis. I, being in a feminine body, I can understand the pain of the gopis. I will wipe their tears and I will tell them, all these men are like this only. Uddhava was like that, Krishna was like that, Balramji was like that. Everybody is the same. But we women, we know how these men are. I will pacify them, she says. Then Naraji says, okay, get a chariot ready for, Subhadra Devi, let her go first. And then as soon as she leaves, I will wake up Krishna and Daruka will be ready and Krishna can go then later after that. Then Balramji says, no, even I will accompany Subhadra. Somebody has to be there. I'm her elder brother. I cannot let her go alone. I will go for protection. And I won't talk because the minute I talk, Vrajavasis will know that, Krishna is never going to come or things like that. Then Subhadra puts a very intelligent question. She says, Vrajavasis may get doubt on us because all brother and sisters, they are coming to the same place. Why didn't they come together? That question may arise. Then I will tell them that when Krishna is coming, everybody on the way know that Krishna is coming and they wanted to do Mangalarati and have his association. So they stopped him in different villages. He stopped to give association, and that's why he's late. So she goes first her chariot goes, then Balramji's chariot goes, and then they all reach the Nidhivan. Purnamasi, who is the Vrinda Devi, directs them directly to go to Nidhivan. When they arrive at Nidhivan, Radharani is about to give up her life. In separation, she's already starting to give up her life. And all the Sakhis, her head is in the palms of Lalita Devi, and Champaka Devi is applying chandan on her body because it is heated up. And everybody is trying to, Lalita Sakhi is trying to, chant the mantra, Hare Krishna mantra in her ears so that she wakes up. She is completely unconscious. Abhimanyu comes running there. This Abhimanyu is not our Mahabharata Abhimanyu. He is actually Abhimanyu Ghosh, who is Srimati Radharani's husband. He comes, he takes the lotus, he touches her lotus feet and he takes her dust and he puts it on his head. And he says, before Srimati Radharani gives up her body, I want to give one truth to the world. What is that truth? That truth is that, I was a devotee of Katyayani, Mother Parvati. And as a benediction, she asked me to serve in a way. She asked me to get married to Srimati Radharani. Although Srimati Radharani always belongs to Krishna, she asked me to marry just to increase the mellow. How? How will you increase the mellow? The way he gives an example is, if an elephant is running right towards food, it is common that elephant, when you show food, it will run. But if you tie the elephant with a chain, it will break open the chain because it is very hungry and it will run. It is the same way. Radharani will always run to Krishna, right? Because of the devotion she has for Krishna. And I am supposed to enhance that by holding her back. And that was a service given to me. I was never her husband, And like Chaya Sita, this is also Chaya. Srimati Radharani is not real Radharani, she is Chaya, right? He says that, and I have never touched her in my life, and she is the most chaste person I know, he says. Then Kutila comes running, and by then Subhadra Devi and Balramji have reached the scene, Nidhivan, where this is happening. All the gopis are surrounding. In the middle, Radharani is about to give up her life. They all come, they both hear this and they have ecstatic symptoms. There are 8 ecstatic symptoms which are defined. This will happen to many Maharajas also who are in great devotion. They have these symbols. One is the hair standing on end, tears from their eyes, choking of the throat, sweating, right? And the teeth cluttering. All these are symptoms of ecstasy in transcendental bliss. By now, Balaramji and Subhadra Devi have started showing that symptoms towards when somebody talks about devotion, deep devotion, our heart touches, and that is what is happening. In that ecstasy, the eyes are becoming big for Subhadra Devi and for Balaramji, and their hands are going back like this. Okay. Then Kutila comes running. Kutila comes running and she says, you know what? She also takes the foot dust of Srimati Radharani and she says, I never wanted to say this pastime because it will glorify Srimati Radharani. But now that she is giving up her body, I want to tell the world about this pastime. What is that pastime? Krishna once was very, very sick. He had high temperature, and the doctor, the Vaidya who came, he said, see, somebody has to go and get water from Jamuna and pour it on Krishna. And I said, I got ready. I said, I will do it, and I got ready. Then the Vaidya said, no, it's not an ordinary pot. That pot is filled with 100 holes, and when you fill the pot, water should not come out. Not even one drop of water should come out. You should carry that pot. if you're a person with great character, without any blemish, only then this will happen. I still thought I can do it, and I went and I got it. The minute I put it on my head, all the water seeped down. Everybody in Vraja tried and nobody was successful. Then Purnamasi actually asked Srimati Radharani to take that water. Immediately, Srimati Radharani was able to carry that water and Krishna was healed. I am like an ant, she says. Kutila says, I am like an ant. Why? When an ant enters even a palace, what does it look for? Some crack where it can go and live. I am like that. I was searching for one bad character in Srimati Radharani. Throughout her life, I've been troubling her and I'm trying to find one bad character, but she is a total diamond. There is no blemish in that diamond, she says. Then Chandravali comes running. Chandravali also takes. See, Chandravali is the opposite party of Srimati Radharani in the pastimes. She comes and she takes the food. Does all her sakis also come? She has her own group of gopis. And then she says, Krishna always came to me and hidingly he used to come to me. But even when he came, he was so much in love with Srimati Radharani that he only saw Srimati Radharani's face. He never once saw me. Because whenever he came to me, he looked at me and he used to say, Ha Radha, he used to say. One day he would come near me and then he would realize it is not Srimati Radharani. And again, he would feel bad and he would just say Radha's name and he would go away. By this time, Narad Muni has already started singing with his veena about the glories of devotion and Srimati Radharani, and Krishna wakes up. As soon as he wakes up, he says, Oh, where am I? I have to be in Vrindavan. I miss the, Brajavasis. I miss Srimati Radharani. I want to go there. I want to go there. Then Uddhava and Naraji say, Yeah, we know you have to go there. That's why we've kept Daruka ready. We will take you. We will take you to Vrindavan. He tries to go, but he cannot go. He is completely intoxicated in that Gnan of Vrajavasis. He's falling off. Then Naraji and Uddhava hold him and put him on the chariot. And the chariot driver Daruka, Krishna says, Go fast, Daruka, go fast. Then Daruka says, I will go as fast as the mind, because our mind is always very fast. So he says, I will go as fast as the mind. So he finally goes, Krishna goes, he reaches the Nidhivan, and there he sees Srimati Radharani. By then, Radharani also wakes up. Radharani sees Krishna, Krishna sees Radharani. Again, Krishna faints. Again, they all chant then Srimati Radharani gives the solution how to wake up Krishna this time. She says, when the wind passes on my body, that fragrance is carried to Krishna and he will wake up. And that's what happens. The wind, Purnamasi, Vrinda Devi orchestrates all these things. Whenever the environment has to change in Vrindavan, Vrinda Devi is the one who does that. She's like the director. She changes, gives a lot of wind, and then that fragrance travels to Krishna and he wakes up. What happens in Nidhivan at that point? They bring Srimati Radharani and Krishna together and they do lot of offerings and they start worshipping. This is the same thing that we do. It is dark. It is 4 a.m. already. This entire pastime has taken place in the night. Okay, evening it started all the way till 4 a.m. in the morning it has taken place. The 4 a.m. Mangalarati that we do signifies this, where we bring Srimati Radharani and Krishna together. Mangala, that means auspiciousness. When we glorify Krishna and Srimati Radharani, we are actually glorifying devotion. We're glorifying our Supreme Lord. Automatically, whoever is involved in that will feel happy at that point. And that's why Prabhupada has given us that 4:30 Mangalarati, where it is actually dark. You go to any temple, they don't switch on the lights when they do Mangalarati. All the lights are off, only the deities will be shown, and that Mangalarati light will be there. No lights will be on. It is total darkness, and they chant the mantras. This signifies that 4 a.m. when Srimati Radharani and Krishna are brought together, right? Now, this is one story where Krishna, Subhadra Devi, and Balaram ji, they are in ecstasy of seeing Srimati Radharani, and their eyes become big. They try to smile. There is so much of ecstasy that smile also is a little weird, and they pull their hands back and they're like that. That is the Jagannath ji temple, what in Puri, what we see Jagannath ji, Balaram, and Subhadra Devi. Okay, this is one story. The second story. Later, what happens is when all these Vrajvasis are so much pain, Vrinda Devi disguises herself like an old woman and she goes to Dwarka and she starts chanting the name Radha, Radha, Radha outside the gate because in the nobody is let inside the palace. The people outside, the security guards will not let her go inside. So she says, just tell your Dwarkadish, Radha, Radha, and he will come and take me. He will allow me inside. So the security guards will go and say, there is one lady who's been constantly chanting Radha, Radha. Immediately Krishna says, okay, bring her in. And then he starts questioning. She's actually covered her face. She's not even showing her face. Then Krishna asks her, okay, lady, where are you from? She's, oh no, what is your name? He asks. She says, I've forgotten my name. I don't know. I'm kind of lost in the city of Dwarka, right? Then he says, how come somebody can forget their name? She says, this is the Mahatmya of this Dwarka city that people forget who they are. Then Krishna is like puzzled. Why is she answering like this? Then he says, what is your problem? How can I help? Then she says, see, we had a parrot and we had kept it in a cage and we had protected it and we were giving everyday fruits. We were treating it so well and everything. One day, by mistake, it came out and it came to the hands of Kubja. And that Kubja captured this bird and she's not letting go of this bird. We want that bird back, you know. And then Krishna understands, oh, this is somebody from Raja. And he says, he starts talking. He says, see, the air that is blowing in this universe is for everybody. Then the water which flows is for everybody. The birds, the plants, all this, everybody can share it. It is not a proprietary or ownership of one person. So you cannot say that, she says, he says. And then she gets very angry with him. She removes her gungat and she says, she holds Krishna's ears and she says, see, Srimati Radharani is so good and all the Vrajavasis are so good to you. They are all waiting for you. You've come here and you are caught up in this, city girls and, you're caught up with Kubja and everybody. You better come back. They're all in lot of pain. Why don't you understand? And she tells him, you have to come, otherwise people will start giving up their life there. She says that and she goes away. 1 month later or 2 months later, Krishna plans that they all go to Kurukshetra. And what happens is everybody, the entire Dwarka gets ready to go to Kurukshetra. At the same time, in Vrindavan, Yashoda Maya, Nanda Baba, all the gopis, including Srimati Radharani and the Gopabalakas, they also come to Kurukshetra. So it is said that that day that Krishna left Vrindavan, the next time he sees the Vrajavasis is in Kurukshetra, right? After 125 years, when the war is happening, that time they all come. And when Srimati Radharani sees Krishna and Krishna sees the entire Vrajavasis, his heart melts. And Srimati Radharani says, see what we felt in separation. He asks, I'm so sorry that you had to go through so much of separation from me, so much of trouble for me. But, when I saw you, it never felt that we missed so many years. 100 years later, they are all meeting. And he says, it's as if, we were always together. I don't feel that separation anymore after seeing you. So Srimati Radharani says, the same thing entire world should see, that you come and meet them. And that is why he says, okay, I will manifest myself as Jagannath, where they can take me on a ratha, and they, they will feel the same separation and ecstasy. And in fact, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes also, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes the first time to see Jagannath ji, that is what he felt. Whatever Srimati Radharani felt and Krishna felt in Kurukshetra, it is a depiction of that. Why? Because Krishna takes the form of Srimati Radharani at that time. His bhav is Srimati Radharani's bhav. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dances in front of Jagannath ji, it was as if Radharani was dancing and Jagannath ji is Krishna. That is one thing. And at that time, what happens is they want to take Krishna back in Kurukshetra. When they see Krishna, they want to take him back to Vrindavan. So all the gopis, whatever ribbon they have tied, whatever gungat they have, they make a knot of it. They make like a rope. They tie it to Krishna, Subhadra, and Baldevji's chariot, and they want to pull it. They start pulling it to Vrindavan. It is said in the universe that was the first Rath Yatra, where the gopis were trying to pull Krishna back. And in fact, even Radharani says, my heart, in my heart, it feels like I have to put you on the chariot of my heart and take you back, drag you back to Vrindavan, she says. So that is why Rath Yatra is very, very important. The third katha is where Dwarka queens, the queens of Dwarka, 8 queens of Dwarka, actually ask Rohini Mata to tell some of the pastimes that Krishna had with the gopis and the Gopabalakas in Vrindavan. When she starts narrating that, she would have told Subhadra to guard the door so that nobody can eavesdrop or nobody can hear, because it is very confidential, she says. The pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan is very, very auspicious and it is confidential. So she tells Subhadra, you stand guard, because Subhadra is also in Dwarka. When she is standing guard, what happens is she is so much in ecstasy listening to the pastime that she forgets that she is guarding. At the same time, Krishna and Balaram also come. She puts her hand out in ecstasy. She's still in ecstasy and she puts her hand out, trying to, forbid them from going inside. And Krishna and Balaram also overhear some of the pastimes and they are also in ecstasy. Before they can come out of that ecstasy, Narad Muni actually sees them all in that ecstasy. And he says, Krishna says, please don't disclose this form of mine to anybody else. At that time, Naraji says, I am, the leader of bhakti. And I want all the devotees to see this form of yours. Only then I will not reveal it. You yourself reveal it to the entire world. And at that time, Krishna promises that, yes, I will reveal, I will come as Jagannath ji into this world again. And that's how Jagannath ji manifests with Subhadra and Baldev ji. It is also said that those were the 3 different pastimes coming to the same Jagannath. Many more are there which we are not aware. If you go to Jagannath Puri, they narrate so many other pastimes, beautiful, beautiful pastimes of Jagannath ji, which is happening even today. Although Vaidhi Bhakti is so important, right? There, it's all changed. They tried to bring in a format. I think Ramajanacharya or somebody tried to bring in a process there. That process will never work there. Why? Because Jagannath is in so much love with the devotees. He allows devotees to do however they want to do. The Pandas are like Naraji and Uddhavji, they say. When the Ratha Yatra is going on, actually nobody shakes the Lord. The Lord is shaking inside the chariot. If you see, they're trying to balance him on the chariot, but it keeps shaking. That signifies that signifies Krishna being in ecstasy in Dwarka, where he fell down, and when he tried to climb the chariot of Daruka, he was shaking. He couldn't even go because his separation was so much. The same thing is depicted when the chariot is being pulled in Rath Yatra. And if you look at the Rath Yatra, first Subhadra Devi goes, then Balaramji goes, and then Jagannath Ji's chariot goes. It is said that whoever participates even once, looks at the Lord even once in the Rath Yatra, all their sins will be wiped out. They will not have any sins left. It is so auspicious to be part of it. And our Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, Saraswati Thakur, Saraswati Srila Prabhupada also says that, if Srimati Radharani wants us to pull the chariot, and whatever she wants, we should be ready to do. So when we pull the chariot, we are actually helping Srimati Radharani and the gopis take Krishna back to Vrindavan. And even that from Neelachal to Gundicha, when they go, it is actually Neelachal is like Dwaraka, Gundicha is like Vrindavan. The way that Krishna manifested the pastime where he fell unconscious in Dwaraka and how he rode to Vrindavan, that is what it signifies when it leaves Neelachal and it goes to Gundicha. The Lord also said that he will manifest himself in the form of wood. And this, that is that is how he manifests even in Jagannath Puri. Right? The wood piece come, it is floating in the water, and that water floating in the water is nothing but love for Srimati Radharani, love for bhakti, in which he kept floating and he came, and that wood was used to carve the deities. You will see that, in all other places it is stone or clay or anything, but in Jagannath it is actually wooden. It is made out of wood. The actual Murti, which is, everyday worship Murti, is actually made out of wood. With that, I will end today's session, dear devotees. We can take up the actual katha of how the deities were carved also. How the deities came into existence also we can take some other day. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Any questions, any comments?